Welcome back to day 10 of the men's 2020 Australian Open. In this video I'm going to be previewing the first semi-final between Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer. Dominic Thiem faces Rafael Nadal in the other semi-final on Friday, so I'll be bringing a preview out for that one tomorrow, so check that one out as well. But first off, looking at Federer against Djokovic, which take place tomorrow morning for me in the UK. It's the 50th meeting between the pair. Djokovic leads the head-to-head 26-23. The most talent stat interesting for me is Federer hasn't beaten Djokovic at a Grand Slam since 2012, so things don't look brilliant for Federer on that side of things. Pre-tournament, I wasn't really sure of what to expect of Federer. Obviously, we hadn't seen him since November, since his defeat to Stefanos Tsitsipas in the World Tour Finals. He's took a long, lengthy break. Obviously, being 38 now, he's a family man and he's slowing down. He's less and less tournaments on his schedule all the time, but that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing for Federer, as we know he's turned up after a break and won Grand Slams in the past. So that's not necessarily a negative thing for Federer not to have much practice. In the opening stage of the tournament, I thought he looked good. I thought he moved well, served well, but he wasn't up against any super top opponents, so it was hard to judge really the form of Federer. As the tournament's progressed, I think he has regressed, if anything. He got pushed obviously very close to against John Millman, as we know. The local Aussie almost had him out. He had 4 up in that match deciding tie break before Millman choked, and Roger did produce some good tennis to turn that one around, but it wasn't necessarily a convincing performance from Federer. He got out of jail on that one. Millman outplayed him for the majority of that match, particularly the fourth set. And then it's one of them things. It's when you haven't got that sort of experience of beating one of the big three to Grand Slam, it's very difficult to get over that line. People always say that the hardest point to win is the last point, and Millman didn't even get that far in the end. But 8-4 up, he should have won that match the way he was playing. But Federer did come back. All fairness to him, he took his chances and he managed to claw it back. And that I thought would kickstart Federer's tournament. I wasn't expecting to see Federer play that badly again. I was expecting him to start tying the ball better, be more aggressive, make more first serves, but that still hasn't really been the case against Fucsovic. He really struggled early on while Fucsovic was fresh. He just, as I say, it's just been uncharacteristic like for Federer. He's been very untidy. I don't think he's particularly ground strokes are looking fantastic, not hitting the ball with any real venom or power. He's struggling rallies. His serve doesn't look fantastic this week, and it so far has been a very poor Roger Federer. As much as I respect Federer, I do want Djokovic to win this one. I'm a massive Djokovic fan, and I do believe he will win this one. But looking ahead to Federer's last 16 match against Tennis Sangren again, not a clue how Federer won this match. Sangren outplayed him for basically all the match up until match point. Obviously, Sangren had 7 match points in that match and somehow didn't find a way to win. He was just waiting for a Federer error that didn't come. Sangren was reluctant to really try and find the lines of match point, which is strange considering he'd done it all throughout the match and had success throughout. But as I said in my review video, it's easy for us fans to sit here and say what he should have done, what he could have done better. I'm sure he'll know that himself now looking back. But Federer scraped through again. He has made it to the semi-final. He's done something right, but when you consider the draw he had, his draw opened up. He's played the 100th seed in the quarter-final, which shows you just how favourable his draw has been. But he meets a different specimen now. He's up against Djokovic. There's no hiding places now. If he doesn't play well tomorrow, he's got no chance of winning, and I can't see Federer producing a performance that'll trouble Djokovic. It's going to take a drastic improvement. I think he's going to have to raise his levels tenfold to even win a set or two against Djokovic tomorrow. The difference in quality in these two, this tournament has just been startling. Really, I think it looks a complete mismatch on paper. But we all know Federer. He's capable of a big performance on a Grand Slam day. You never know, he might just turn up and serve well. And Federer's game now is very dependent on his serve. If he can serve well and hold serve and win easy points against Djokovic and return well against Djokovic's serve. You just never quite know, but on form, you've got to say Djokovic does enter this match as a massive favourite. Looking at Djokovic pre-tournament, I think yet the tournament as favourite. He always does really in hard courts. He's back to his full fitness now. He's played well all week. He hasn't really been tested, particularly he's breezed past Schwartzman in round 4, and then in the quarter final, when facing arguably his hardest opponent, he made it look so easy. Against Milos Raonic, just won practically every point on serve, and then really getting them Raonic games, as I said on Twitter, he's returning his serve deep at 140 mile an hour. Most players wouldn't even get a racket on them, but Djokovic has returned them deep and really putting Raonic under pressure all the time. He secured breaks in the first couple of sets, which is all that was required. He was holding serve that easy. It was one break set, and then the tie break, he really turned it on. Played an almost perfect tie break and secured that 3-0 victory to get off court in double quick time and progress to semi-final. So how do I see this match going? To be honest, with Federer, he's got to do everything better than what he's been doing so far this tournament. He's got to start well. I feel for Federer to have any chance whatsoever of winning this match tomorrow, he has to win the first set. He just doesn't look, especially with his groin injury that he suffered in the last round, and he spent a lot of time on court, over 7 hours. You just feel that if he's gonna win the match, he's got to keep the points short. He's got to serve a lot of aces. Djokovic has got to play a very below par performance, which I can't see. We know Djokovic now, he'll sense this opportunity with Rafa out and with Federer playing below par. Djokovic is now the huge tournament favourite. He's got the extra incentive now that if he does win this tournament on Sunday, that he becomes the world number 1 again. Now Rafa's then exited the quarterfinals. That makes life even tougher for Federer. An extra incentive for Djokovic to want to win this title. But as I say, Federer's got to serve. It's 70-80% of first serve. He's currently serving at around 55-60%, I think, of first serves. So that's got to take a huge jump tomorrow. He's got to be ultra aggressive. I think Federer's been guilty of being passive so far this tournament, just not really finding his ground strokes from the back of the court. I think if he does get short balls from Djokovic and gets mid-ball returns, he has got to step into the court and just go for it. Try and out-hit Djokovic from the back of the court, if possible, which is very difficult. But I do feel like the longer the rallies go on, the more they're going to favour Djokovic in this match. What does Djokovic need to do? Just more of the same. He's played Federer a lot of times now. He knows how to read that serve. He knows Federer relies a lot on his serve. If he can neutralise that and return deep and hit return when he's really put Federer under pressure, with the way Djokovic has been serving this week, I find it incredibly difficult to see Federer really troubling Djokovic on serve. So it's just more the same. It's not a really in-depth preview of this match, largely down to because I think it's so going to be one-sided. I just think if Djokovic plays even 70-80%, it's going to be enough to beat Roger tomorrow. Roger's not coming to this match fresh. He's not playing well, and he's obviously nursing that groin injury, so life's got even tougher throughout the tournament. So I'm predicting Djokovic to win in straight sets and progress to Sunday's final. As I say, I will be back tomorrow with a preview of the second semi-final, Novak Dominic Thiem against Rafael Nadal, which will be a lot more competitive, I think. And I'll also be previewing and reviewing the women's semi-finals and finals, so check them out on the channel as well. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.